Hi, my name is Tyler Clemens, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Phoenix LiveView in healthcare. I work for a company called DJO. We have a development team there of about 12 developers. We pretty much all come from Ruby, doing Ruby and Rails. And right now we have a large Rails app and 2 Phoenix apps in production now. LiveView was announced last year at ElixirConf. Chris McCord announced that. I remember it being announced and sitting there and looking at my coworkers and just like jaws drop, like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for, right? Like no more JavaScript. And then I remember like constantly refreshing Chris's Twitter and looking at Elixir Slack, like when is it coming out? When is it coming out? And I remember he tweeted in March, Chris did, about it going live. And we shipped it to production in May. It was fast. It was super easy to implement. Some of the things like we learned from it right away was like it was easy to build on top of. And when requirements changed, it was really easy to go in there and make those changes in LiveView and kind of change with the business. And testing was amazing. Being able to use EXUnit or to do testing versus JavaScript. One of the products we shipped it in is a product called Oris Core. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's Outpatient Arthroplasty Risk Assessment Score. And there's a little bit about it there, but it's basically kind of a questionnaire and assessment trying to figure out if patients are good candidates for outpatient surgery, specifically around total knee or total hip replacements. In true lightning talk fashion, I'm going to give a live demo. All right, so this is the page in Aura that we're using LiveView. So on the left here, we have a bunch of patients, and they're listed with a typical Phoenix request. When you click it, and then LiveView gets connected to it, when you click this review button, this selects a patient. It comes back with LiveView, and we're using change sets on the back end to take that patient, run it through a change set, and then show it like you would with a typical controller request, but all through LiveView, which is super nice. It kind of gives that like single page app feel. This specific page in the application is kind of like a dashboard for our users. Like these are the patients you need to go review to come look at them. And what we're doing is taking that data and kind of like a typical form, we're submitting it back. We get the nice error change set functionality with Ecto, which is super nice. And from there, we were able to, this was kind of like an MVP, the next thing the business came back with and was like, oh, we'd really like to filter these patients. By the way, for the record, this is all non-PHI data, fake generated data. So they wanted to do filters. So we're like, okay, how do we do that with LiveView? I think we can just update the patient data. So we change the backend. That gets sent as a LiveView request. It updates the query for the patients. We have to the patient list, and boom, LiveView takes care of like all the rest, which was super nice and refreshing from, coming from writing a bunch of JavaScript or trying to do that as a single-page app feel. Okay, let's go back. That's pretty much it. I want to thank DJO for letting us come out here. They pay for us to come to a conference a year. Super awesome place to work for. Being healthcare, it's usually a lot of red tape and slow, but they've really allowed us to innovate and use Elixir and ship it and start using things like LiveView. The Elixir community, awesome. Everybody in Slack, everybody in the community is super helpful. Being able to talk to Chris and Jose right there, when they have free time is awesome. You can find me on GitHub at Tyler, T-I-E-L-U-R. and I'm also in Elixir Slack. Same name. Thanks.